As you can see, Russia does have a lot to be proud of, and they do put a lot of pride in these icons of Mother Russia, but they also just portrays the strength of Russia. And even though Russia is a country that in the past 10 years has become increasingly rich and stronger by the numbers, the equality between social classes has dropped. And this fact raises the question: why is the backing of Putin getting stronger in the lower classes? As you will now see, the media, the Russian media, plays a big part in this.
The Russian media has never been seen as trustworthy by the Western world. If you look back to the Soviet regime, the media was primarily used for propaganda to make the Soviet people afraid of the Western world. And there were even laws about what themes an anti-American propaganda movie could have. Capitalistic monopolies, degeneration of American culture, how the American press is corrupt, the criminal mentality of American culture are just a few examples of how they try to make America look evil. This policy changed when Gorbachev got the power, as the media now was allowed to have more freedom. The freedom of the Russian media increased drastically when Soviet Union collapsed. It turned into free-for-all, anarchy compared to the Soviet era, and in general there was a huge media boom in Russia through the 90s, as the Russians hungered for knowledge about the rest of the world. But in July 2006, the Russian media experiences, from a Western perspective, a huge setback, as the Russian Duma approved a bill amending a law on fighting extremist activity. President at the time, Vladimir Putin, signed the bill into law shortly after. And the law made media criticism, such as public slander of state officials, punishable by up to 3 years in prison. In Russia, the majority of television channels are owned and controlled by the government. During recent years, we have seen countless examples of critical journalists being punished when they cover news not exactly aligning with the same reality as the one the Russian government presents. An example is the murder of journalist Anna Politkovskaya, who was shot in October 2006. She was known for critical reports about the war in Chechnya and articles where she criticizes Putin. Her death remains unsolved despite video footage and other evidence indicating that government officials played a part in the attack, as does most attacks on critical journalists. Since 1993, 32 journalists have been murdered, and in 2015 alone, 30 journalists have been attacked. Obviously, these attacks can be thought to affect Russian journalists not to write critically in fear of the consequences. A recent example of manipulation by a Russian state-controlled television channel was when the American ambassador in Russia, John Theft, was reported present at a demonstration against another unsolved murder of a popular Russian opposition politician, Boris Nemtsov, with the protesters blaming Putin for this murder. The only problem was that the footage was manipulated and the ambassador never was present. The pictures originated from another event several months back in time. We went to the streets in Russia to ask strangers on how they see and have been influenced by the media. One of the interviewees answered, "Actually, I believe the media is very ignorant and choosing two different sources of information is very important. The chief point was that the Russian media is very influenced by the government, and if you want the full picture of a specific case, you also have to find information elsewhere." She explained that we have all kinds of reasons not to trust the media, but then again, you should not trust any kind of media. She explained that I think you should add all different medias together and find something in the middle. As you can see, the media does play an essential part in the development of the mindset of the Russian population and how they understand the rest of the world. The popularity of Putin can be seen as a natural consequence of misleading information, where bad tendencies and happenings have been heavily censored and manipulated with. all of which could have grounded a more critical view on the government.